What are you doing, kid?
I think the king should finish his last race.
The Cars franchise succeeded right after they released the very first movie about a cocky race car, Lightning McQueen. Not many people know, but the whole movie is actually based on real locations and people along iconic and historic Route 66. In 2011, the next Cars movie hit theaters, but the third one, which was released in 2017, received praise for the story and animation and was seen by many as a massive improvement over Cars 2. But what if the movie contained other scenes or even had a different ending? Just like in any other movie, there are many scenes deleted in Cars 3, and in this video, we're gonna talk about all of them. Make sure you stay till the end. Let's get into the topic.
Ready to start training?
I don't know. You ready to lose again?
Oh!
Cars 3 tells us the story of Lightning McQueen, who has always seemed to be a great racer. But the thing is that over time, he became not as cool as the new generation of race cars. He becomes blindsided by them and is eventually pushed out of the sport. But who said McQueen is going to give up? He is full of hope and getting back on track, so he turns to the trainer, Cruz Ramirez, because he wants to prove to everyone that he is still the best racer out there. If you watch this movie, you know how it ended, but now we will go over different scenes that were deleted, and we will see how they may have changed the entire plot of the movie and whether there are any alternative endings.
It's perfect. It's very old school.
Did someone just say old school?
Cars 3 has a very positive vibe, but there was one scene that made so many people cry. We're talking about the scene that featured Lightning McQueen's flashbacks to where he was racing with Doc Hudson, his mentor before Doc collapsed and died. Paul Newman, who voiced Doc Hudson, actually passed away in 2008, but the details of how Doc died were never mentioned in the Cars films. In the interview with Screen Crush, the film creative director Jay Ward explained that he had hoped to remedy the lack of details about Doc's death and add this scene in Cars 3. He discovered this scene as a really tender moment where McQueen is driving and Doc's following him, and it's like the day your mentor passes away. But Jay Ward then said that they deleted the scene because it was just depressing. But there was also another reason not to mention this scene. Owen Wilson, who voices Lightning McQueen, has also opened up about a suicide attempt in 2007. So it was safer not to add such a depressing scene to the movie because it would definitely make people sad. However, the scene was mentioned in a news article a few times, but that was it. Do you think it was right that this scene was cut? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. The next scene was deleted because it contained betrayal. It is not a secret that Lightning McQueen was a huge fan of his racing instructor, Cruz Ramirez. He even went as far as resigning from the rusty racing team, allowing his instructor to take his place to win. But in the early version of the movie, Cruz Ramirez took the coveted racing spot behind Lightning McQueen's back. Initially, Sterling, the Rust Easy team owner, had to notice Cruz Ramirez's value and offer her to participate in the race. He had to make a decision to swap her out for McQueen, and she would agree behind the Lightning's back. Such a betrayal, no? As the events unfolded, viewers had to figure out whether Cruz Ramirez was involved or complicit. But according to the movie director, Brian Fee, they realized the scene didn't work once it was seen on storyboards. We tried in that early version where McQueen mistakenly thinks Cruz betrayed him to steal his spot, says Brian Fee. In that version, it looked like it was betrayal. Later, you would come to find out that she had nothing to do with it. Cruz didn't really betray Lightning, but it still didn't work. The filmmakers wanted Lightning to be the first one who discovers that Cruz is actually cool and she can race. We didn't want McQueen to be the last one to realize her value. We wanted him to be the first to discover it, says Brian Fee. The story evolves standing on the shoulders of these various versions. That's how we learn, by trying something and failing. Of course, the scene would definitely add some sauce to the movie, but still, the final version is not that bad either, right? Many fans revealed that they really loved the moment when Lightning, Cruz, and Mac go incognito at the Thunder Hollow Derby. Lightning had to cover himself in mud in order not to be recognized and also names himself Chester Whipplefilter. Cruz also comes up with the pseudonym for herself as Frances Beltline, and as for Mac, he wears a Jocko Flocko disguise. This scene had to actually be much more extended and long-running. For example, the scene where Team 95 had a training on the beach was going to be set up as a pretend movie shot, where the Guido was an Italian film director and Lightning was an actor pretending to be Lightning McQueen. But not only this scene was cut from the final movie, there were a few others that didn't make it to the big screen. In one of those scenes, Mac was going to conceal his identity in many different ways, ranging from a traveling circus to a shopping container. Interestingly, Cruz, whom we all know is absolutely different in early drafts of the movie, not many people know that Cruz was a first male car. But then, the movie creators decided to make her a female car, so she was more of an outsider in the typical male-dominated world of sports car and racing. She also had to be a young, rookie racer, but not a mentor. This initial idea was to show the similarities between Lightning McQueen and Cruz so that when Lightning first meets her at Rusty Training Center, he sees her as a younger version of himself. To be precise, in a very similar way to how Doc saw him when the two just met. When the draft was made, the directors decided it would be retreading too much of the story from Cars 1. So, they decided to change the character of Cruz a bit and added more opposite traits to Cruz, so we will clearly see that Cruz and Lightning don't have that much in common. For example, she had a lack of confidence while Lightning was pretty confident. The movie creators hoped that Cruz, that we met in Cars 3, would help to build a more interesting and adventurous story. And we have to admit they did a great job, right? What do you guys think about it? As you may have heard, there were at least 3 different endings for Cars 3 that the movie makers came up with. In one of the endings, Lightning McQueen decided to run the race himself and wins. Right after this happens, he becomes Cruz's mentor. However, according to Brian Fee, this ending made the film feel hollow. In another version, Cruz and Lightning both took part in the race. They had to compete against each other, but that didn't work out either. Why? Because this plot twist will split the viewers apart. One team would be rooting for Cruz and another for Lightning. So, to get the right level of tension, the filmmakers decided they would have Lightning pass on his number mid-race to Cruz. But even this one didn't give the desired result. So, there were further variations considering within the scene. Like in one of the variations, this passing of the torch to Cruz had to be more fraught with Lightning getting mad at Cruz when she didn't get what exactly he wanted her to do. But eventually both of them will end up understanding and appreciating each other. However, this ending will make people have mixed feelings even though Smokey's explanation makes perfect sense in the situation. The rules only say that the number has to be out there, doesn't say who has to wear it. Have you heard of any other deleted scenes? If yes, share them with us. We would love to explore them. And also, do you think some of the deleted scenes had to be included in the final version of the movie? Let us know in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!